All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Mashak wa Malaki Washai. That is to say, Yahweh, being named the Heavenly Father, who the world will call God, and Yahweh Shai, being named his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Brother Kasadia from W5 Jersey, Philly. And this is a video, I want to touch on through the Spirit. I recently came across this sister. She was on Instagram. Right? I saw her on Instagram, and, she made a compelling case, and I definitely want y'all to check this out. And, Most High willing will back it up with some scriptures as well. But let's see what this sister's talking about. Oh, Salakia, hold on.
It baffles me the amount of women that are like, I would never let my husband tell me what to do. I'm not his child. And these same women, they'll go to work. Their boss says, hey, I need you to turn this in by 5 p.m. They say, yes, sir. The HR manager says, hey, I need you to stop saying this to your employees. They say, okay. The trash man says, I need you to put your trash cans beside the road on Wednesday mornings. They say, okay, and they do it. The speed limit sign says, don't go past 65. Guess what? They don't go past 65. The nurse says, hey, you have this condition. I need you to take this medicine. They say, okay. Their single friend will say, girl, you don't need to do this for your husband. You need to tell him this, this, and this. And they say, I can trust you. You're the expert. Literally, everybody else in the world will tell them, jump. And they say, how high? And they do it. But when your husband, who has a covenant with God to protect and provide for you, tells you, hey, I don't think you should do this. Yes, you should do this. No, you should not do this. It's a problem and you're oppressed.
Right. So as you can see, this sister, she's highlighting all the things that the so-called modern day woman, Eve to be exact, right? Because you don't necessarily see this on a mass scale level amongst any other nation other than the nation of Israel, other than a so-called black woman, and chiefly, and then you got the so-called Hispanic woman, just following shortly after. But nevertheless, the nation of Israel as a whole, our women are still out of order, right? Or are out of order. Even in this truth, you hear, the Spirit of the Lord has given me to be able to counsel, and counsel different households and things of that nature. I mean, you're still hearing a lot of these things go on even in this truth. So if you knew coming in this thing, then you got to really count the cost and understand what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a wife, right? To your husband. If you still find yourself being in his spirit, or maybe you might be scrolling by on Instagram or damn, wherever other account you might be on social media, whether it's YouTube or whatever, and you find yourself agreeing with these modern day women as speaking as some of the things that she was saying, that our women are getting down and being galvanized by in today's America, you got to check yourself. You're not fit to be a wife. I'll say it again. You're not fit to be a wife. Being a wife, being a servant of Yahweh Shem Shai requires obedience. And it'd be unrealistic to require somebody to be obedient completely fresh out the box, right? Just perfect. We understand certain things take time, but if you have a tendency of not being an obedient person, then you got to check that before you think you want to court somebody or even later on get married. And brothers, you got to be a better choice at choosing your woman. You can't just choose any old woman because you think she's beautiful, or you like the way she say Kwame Asharala, or you like the way she say Adawan, or she's hitting you up. Brother, you gotta be better than that. Don't be a simp. The Lord got you. You're going to take care of you. We're the true gold in this earth. So this modern day woman, the Lord is getting he's going to humble them in a major way. In a major way. It's coming very soon. Right? But nevertheless, we're going to touch on some of the things that she was bringing out. Right? So she was going into how a woman today, her husband were to tell her to do something, and she pretty much is feeling oppressed, controlled, manipulated. And I'm gonna get this sister off the screen, by the way. Let's go into these scriptures. She's feeling feeling oppressed, controlled, manipulated, right? But when she goes to her workplace, whether it's her job, whether she's still in school, whatever the case may be, she listens to those men who are normally Edomites, her boss, her professor. She's getting down with that. But she's then making you slack you having to pull teeth just to get her to do what you want her to do, right? In righteousness. That's a problem. And women all across the nation, if you're watching this video, hey, I shouldn't be an enemy. Actually, I'm gonna get that real quick. And we know a lot of people, I believe the brother, Kevin Samuel, the brother Kevin Samuel, he went into this a lot, right? He went into this a lot before they killed him. But nevertheless, he was going into this thing. And I mean, you wonder why a man who, from his own words, was taking care of his body and he was fit, whatever case may be, how he just died of a heart problem, supposedly. I mean, it was more along the lines of him speaking and trying to get the nation in order, although he wasn't doing it according to Yahweh Shem Shai. He was at least letting, the modern day woman know you got to get back. You got to get back right. You got to understand that you can't be putting yourself on some crazy pedestal and making you some whatever, thinking you deserve the top man in the earth when you nowhere near the top woman. So this is the book of Galatians, chapter 4 and verse number 16. It says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? So I know a lot of, it may be a lot of women checking out this video. But at the end of the day, the things he bringing out, I don't care if you like me or not. I don't really, it's not going to make me cry at night. But nevertheless, with these precepts, you got to check yourself and you got to be willing to take correction. So if you find yourself being this type of woman, then check yourself. Lord willing, you got your hair wrap on. Maybe you pause the video. You get on your knees and you pray to Yahweh Shem Shai that the Lord takes his spirit away from you. Because his spirit is only going to bring you destruction. It's only going to bring you a nuclear missile. It's only going to bring you being caught out there in Jacob's trouble and then having to deal with it. Literally just being out there. Because no man wants to deal with a woman that's like that. I don't care who the man is. He's not going to want to deal with a woman that is disobedient. As the Most High won't want to deal with us. Hey, even Yahweh Shai had to learn obedience. So how much more us? And how much more the woman? This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5 and verse number 8. It says, though he were a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. So like I said, this is not going to come, fresh off the gate, you just being obedient, or completely understanding what that means. That takes trial and error, but it got to be trial and error. You at least got to be putting forth the trials to change yourself. It can't just be, nigga, get out my face. Or not even that. Sometimes you tell a person, you tell your woman that, tell your woman, hey, I need you to do X, Y, Z. Come back after a while, it's not done. Come back after a while, things isn't complete. Come back after a while, and whatever instructions you lay down, it wasn't fulfilled. The Most High is not happy when we do that. How much more a man to a woman or the parents to children? So we got to check that. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. Now I want to look up that word subjection, because the Most High specifically gave us his law. This is a commandment. The commandments aren't just found in the Old Testament. All right, let's get this real quick. There's no commandments just only in the Old Testament. This whole Bible is the book, Slakia, get this real quick, is the book of the commandments of the Most High God. Right, it's the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God. Now, Baruch is written in the Apocrypha, right? But the Lord is telling you this whole Bible. It says, this is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So there's commandments and law statutes found all throughout the Bible. And it's our job and our ability to go to the things that's mentioned in the Old Testament, Go to the things that's mentioned in Apocrypha. Go to the things that's mentioned in the so-called New Testament and keep them. And show our obedience to the Most High. Right? Just the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. Let's look up that word subjection. Right? Because subjection is not talking about being a slave. A woman is not a slave to her husband. Nevertheless, let's see what this word subjection means. Subjection, it says to arrange under, to be subordinate. Meaning it's your husband, it's the Most High, it's Yahawashi, then it's man, then it's woman. If that order is broken, you can just go outside, whether you're in Philly, whether you're in Camden, whether you're in Baltimore, whether you're in Detroit, whether you're in Chicago, whether you're in LA, Houston, St. Louis, Greensboro, Orlando, wherever. Go look outside and see and take a tally. How many households are in order? How many households are out of order? And you'll see the glaring reason these households are out of order is because these women are not being in subjection to their own husbands. And these men aren't being men. Your men are literally dealing with that, living with that. Life is just going on when that shouldn't be. Because as a woman should follow this order, men, you should follow this order as well. If you let your woman rule and usurp authority over you, you're not a man, but you're a fairy. And we'll just put it out there. That's being a fairy. That's being effeminate. The Lord ain't dealing with that type of man. Those men going to die a horrible death. We see it every day. Now, let me get a precept to this. This the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 16. It says, I have rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. So Sirach, this whole account, this is of wisdom. In the same image of what you might find in the book of Proverbs, the book of Song of Solomon, right? Wisdom of Solomon, right? Wisdom scriptures. Now, it's wisdom to understand that it's better to live with a lion and a dragon than to be with a wicked woman. Somebody that's out of order, disobedient. You might wake up damn dead. You might wake up in the spirit world because you was living with a wicked woman. The Lord told you don't get down like that. And we know these precepts is first given to the man, right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. So if this word is first given to us, we must understand this. We must keep this. We must hold this dearly. As this video is addressed to our women that's in Israel, whether you in this truth, just coming in this truth, or whether you in the world and you came across this video because somebody shared it to you, this is addressed to women, of course, but men, you need to know these things if you're going to move forward as a man. Jump to verse 9. It says, unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and not fall away. And there's a lot of men who fell away because of women, man. A lot of men. A lot of brothers out here got lined up. It's like I'm kind of, this precept is escaping me. Bear with me. But a lot of men got lined up. A lot of men have lost their wits for women, right? This the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4 and verse number 26. It says, yeah, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women. And now do you not believe me? So we understand there's a lot of men. This goes on all the time. When that order isn't set up, when there's no proper judgment and execution in the household, things get out of order. First and foremost, man, you should check yourself, get yourself back right, and address the playing field. Even before that, you should never be with a woman who is not trying to honor Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It may be a spirit that comes upon her later on, but you want to make sure that that's addressed at the door while you're courting. And we have videos on courting. This is not a video on courting, all right? But nevertheless, that should be done then. Now, you already in a marriage, things going on. You want to make sure that you still keeping yourself in order. When you're not in order, the whole house is going to be destroyed. Paraphrasing. The Lord said, if a man doesn't hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, then his house shall soon be overthrown. So you want to make sure you holding yourself right. Then you can make sure your household is being held in order as well. Not as if you can't still let your household know, but you also got to make sure you checking yourself. So back to it. So back to that word subjection. It says to arrange under, to subordinate, to subject, be in subjection, to subject oneself, obey. So you have to obey your husband. You don't obey just Patrick in a damn workplace. Or Harold because he's giving you a check every week. That's the problem with Eve. That's the problem with the modern day woman. It's too much superfluity. It's too much money. It's too much nails done. It's too much hair being done. What's going to happen in Jacob's trouble when you can't get those things done? When you caught out there, when no man wants you, because you've been frying your hair so long that you look like the damn Cabbage Patch Kids. Hair all jammed up. Them damn troll dolls from back in the day with the yellow, the green, and the pink hair. What's going to happen then when you can't get your eyelashes done? I mean, what's going to happen? This is real rap. What is going to happen in those days? You wasn't getting yourself in order. No man wants you. You think a man going to want you then? So let's get this back in order. It says to subject oneself, obey, to submit to one's control. You got to submit yourself to your man. Yeah, we're here to tell you that. If you don't want to get down with it, look, go find a brother that's in Christianity and he'll lead you to destruction. Go find somebody in the world. Right? Go Kodak Black. How many baby moms he have? Go find one of them rappers if that's what you want. Because they're going to get you destroyed. But the men of the Most High God, there's no more time to play like this. We too far at the end to still be letting things slide. Simple commands. Let's stop playing games. It shouldn't be tooth and nail to get your woman to read because you want to read. I done heard it a few times. A brother literally getting in arguments with his woman because he wants to read, she don't want to read, she want to read on her own. Things going on. I mean, it's chaos. That's off. It says to submit to one's control, to yield to one's admonition or advice. So if your husband's telling you, look, I don't think you should wear that, you should wear this. It wasn't really, maybe he might have put it as suggestion, but nevertheless, I mean, he telling you what you should wear. Now, there's some men that's more straightforward, maybe like myself, and then there's other men that's maybe not as straightforward. But nevertheless, however it is, however it goes down, however he wants to necessarily govern his household, it's the way he governs his household, and he should be governing it following these precepts as well. All right? That's the main thing. That's why we read those precepts about a man, this word being to men first, right? The kings of the earth that has to judge this earth. How can you judge the earth? You can't judge your household. Makes no sense. So continuing on, it says to obey. It says be subject. All right. It says this word was a Greek military term. So subjection is how the Greek military operated. Were they bucking up against Alexander, who had the whole earth in subjection? Were they bucking up against Ptolemy, Philadelphia? Were they bucking up against Seleucus as he took over the whole southern region? Right? Israel, what you have, the modern day Iraq, modern day Babylon. Were they bucking up during that time? Were they bucking up when Cassander was doing his thing? Or Lysimachus? That's the four generals of the Greek military, if you didn't know that, under Alexander when he passed the torch. So the point being, it says this word was a Greek military term, meaning to arrange troop divisions in a military fashion under the command of a leader. It's not a co-household. The man is 1A and a woman's 1B. No, it's 1 husband, 2 woman, 3 children. And really before all that, it goes 1 Yahweh, 2 Yahweh Shai, 3 man, 4 woman, 5 children. That's the order pursuant to 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. That's the order pursuant to the Heavenly Father. So why would it be any different down here in this earthly realm? It says, in non-military use, it was a voluntary attitude of giving in. You got to voluntarily do this. It shouldn't be by force. You should want to do this because the Lord is telling you to do this. And this is how you show yourself as a daughter of Zion, right? Willingly. Look, I want to serve my husband. My husband says this, I'm going to do it. Now, if your husband tell you eat pork, what should you do? Everybody that's watching this, put in the comment section, if you made it to this far of the video, what you should do if your husband told you to eat pork. You should never eat pork. Right? So that's why it's about subjection and order. We telling you to go rob this brother. He said, yo, see that brother across the street? Man, go rob this nigga. I need his chain. And you go across the street and go rob him. That's not what don't mistake what we telling you in this video. I had to say that because I know some of our people, they just not they not always there with the aptitude, if you have ears to hear. All right. So it says it was a voluntary attitude of giving in, cooperating, assuming responsibility, and carrying a burden. So that's what has to be. Right. Even the other words down there, it says put under, be subject unto, be subject to, be under obedience, right? Submit unto. So you gotta, this really shouldn't even be made. This video it shouldn't be necessary to make, but as you see, our women are still out of order in 2023, while the other nations are running laps around us. This the book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22. It says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. So why is this being found again in the scriptures? Because the Lord is, obviously this is going on in the church. Peter had to write this to the church that's in Jerusalem. Paul is now writing this to the church in Ephesus. He's going to write this again in the church of Colossus. This is the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 18. It says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as it is fit in the Lord. What does it mean to be fit? The Lord's not talking about as it is fit, as in someone is in a gym, working out day and night, working on their biceps, their triceps, pumping. The Lord not talking about that. Somebody doing squats. The fit part is talking about what? It says to have come up to, arrived at, to reach to pertain to what is due. This is what's due, the Lord is talking about. It says duty as was fitting. So this is your duty. This is your duty to do this. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as it is your duty in the Lord. All right. So this is what it has to be. It's not really a if, a but he did this. No, it's no but he did this. I done heard that so many times. I had a couple, they were trying to kill each other. Literally kill each other. Because a husband wanted to read and she didn't want to read. She wanted to watch a video and cut up some food in the kitchen. They was throwing fist fights. Damn near crashing the car. Now, I'm not saying that brother was perfect by any means. No, don't mistake that neither. But it's just madness, the things that you hear is my point. This is the book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 16. It says, Memucan answered before the king and the princess. Vashti, the queen, had not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women. So what is it that it says that she has not done wrong to the king only, but to all the people of the province of King Ahasuerus? And this same thing is going to be brought to all the women that's abroad. So these men, they like, hold on, we can't let this slide. And that's what we doing through the spirit. Things going on in Israel, but we cannot let it slide no more. This woman coming, I mean, she's living in modern times, but I mean, from what she's saying, she's not a modern day woman. She's condemning a modern day woman. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Back to it. This is the book of Ephesians, Esther, chapter 1 and verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women. Now she's the queen. Literally, over in Persia, you had the king, then you had the queen. And these different nations and societies, that's how they get down. Over here in the nation of Israel, there's no queen. There's the king, and then there's princesses. And it's the reason why, because you see right here with this woman, she had a lot of power. If there was one king and then one queen, then what? Whatever that queen did, all the women underneath will follow. So if she wanted to be rebellious, then what's going to happen to all the women underneath? They look up to this woman. But it shouldn't be. We all need to be looking up to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. And then there's, even in our government, there will be a king, Yahweh Shai. Then you have princes, and you have governors, and you have other men that's over different cities. But there's no king, then queen. It don't work like that. That's the problem. There's no queen so-and-so. It's princess or daughter of Zion so-and-so. House of so-and-so. It says, for this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported. It says the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. This is literally what this woman just said. Hold on now. Let's run this back.
The amount of women that are like, I would never let my husband tell me what to do. I'm not his child. Never let my husband tell me what to do. I'm not his child. That are like, I would never let my husband tell me what to do. I'm not his child. And
that's literally what just happened. I mean, he's even the king. And she like, I'm not coming. Who are you? See, women forget this one thing. And this is what, back to what I was talking about in the beginning. The modern day woman going to find out something very soon. That yes, as a woman, you can be replaced. And in fact, all the modern day women that's not getting themselves right under the order of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and you will get replaced. You're going to die a horrible death. And the Lord going to provide that man with another woman, or 2, or 3, or 7. Pursuant to Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. So when you not doing what your man is telling you to do, your husband's telling you to do, your Lord, as is written in Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, who you're supposed to have your desire to, then what? You're going to see what's going to happen to this woman who's pronounced the queen of all of the massive kingdom of Persia. It says the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath, if it please the king. And we understand that. Looking at this mainstream media and what's being pushed and the agenda that's been going on, yeah, I'm actually pull up a article I had. It's no question why the black marriage rate, so-called black marriage rate in America is literally the worst. It says, this is from blackdemographics.com. So look that up. It says over the last few decades, marriage has been a declining institution among all Americans, and this decline is even more evident in the black community. In 2020, only 30% of African Americans were married, compared to 48% of all Americans. Wow. It says half or 50% of African Americans have never been married, compared to 34% of all Americans. After viewing the available data, we can see that although fewer black women are now married, quote unquote, more black women than black men have been married at least once. Is that biblical? For you to be married once and be with another man, if he's still alive? No. That's the problem. This nation says in God we trust, but they're talking about the God of Satan. They're talking about Satan, the God of this world, the prince of the power of the air. That's who these women get down with. That's why they get down with the white men. They listen to their boss at their workplace more than their husband at their house. Right? You work 8 hours a day. You got what? 24 hours in a day. That's a 30 a day. And you listening to that man all day. You come home, you don't want to listen to your man. That's a problem. And to be honest, it'd be better if the man was, maybe if you had to pick up 2 jobs, whatever the case may be, but it's better if your woman was at home and not at that workplace, listen to another man instructor. I mean, I don't know about you, but that don't really make too much sense. I understand we're in captivity, so when you get a chance to, you need to reverse that, brothers. But anyway, it says this is because a higher percentage of black women are divorced and widowed than men. Also in 2020, just under half or 48% of black women have never been married, which is up from 44% in 2008 and 42.7% in 2005. Things change quickly. Now, these are percentages. Now, let's look at this. It says black marital status, right? Then it says black married, 30%. It says separated, 3%, divorced, 12%, widowed, 6%, never married, 50%. It says black men, 33% married, 3% separated, 10% divorced, 3% widowed, 52% never married. Black woman, 27% married, 4% separated, 13% divorced, 8% widowed, 48% never married. In all of the U.S., it's complete opposites, as you see the numbers right there. And then when you compare us by race to other nations, black, so-called black, 30% married, so-called Hispanic, 48% married, so-called white, 52% married, so-called Asian, 58% married. Wow. That's terrible. Why is this going on? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. I'm going to come back to Esther. Let's go to Isaiah real quick. It's going on because of this right here. The Lord told you it was going to happen. This is Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a twinkling with their feet. Therefore, Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. So it's because of the pride. Underneath of Esau, there's no other person in this earth more prideful than a so-called black woman. No one. The Lord told you that. That's why the Lord jammed them up. Now, the woman that's in the truth, if you're following Yahweh Shem Yeshai, look, obviously this don't apply to you. But for those that are just coming to truth, or even if you're in the truth and you're not applying these precepts and getting this understanding, and you still walking in his light, this directly applies to you and everyone that's outside of this truth. Back to the book, for the most part, I should say. Because there are some women that's in Christianity that may, maybe they was brought up correctly. Maybe they are in obedience. Maybe they do, for the most part, try to be modest and dress modestly and have a chaste mindset. It's It's not a anomaly, I should say, but it is, it's not the usual. I'll say that. It is, meaning, let's reverse these words. These things can happen, and there's cases where they are to be the case, but for the most part, that's not so in the nation of Israel. So back to it, in the book of Esther. It's Esther chapter 1 and verse 19. It says, if it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. So he said, look, let this be published. Let's get rid of her and give her royal estate to another woman that's better than her. The Lord get down like that. He'll take what you got and give it to somebody that's better than you if you're not performing to the task. He doesn't need you, nor does this man need you. Now, men, you can't just put away your woman. That's not the case. Right? Pursuing the book of St. Matthew, the 19th chapter, and even really before that, you can't do that. With that being said, though, hey, it's a true wake-up call for you women. Because if you're not in order, the Lord will kill you. And you will be replaced. You don't got to worry about your man replacing you. Hey, the Most High will replace you. He will kill you. And give your husband 7 women. Stop playing with the Most High. Stop thinking that you just not listen to your husband is just a slap on the wrist. No, the Lord is writing all those. That's a sin. The Lord writing that down. If you don't repent from that, meaning change and ask forgiveness from the Most High, then you're going to die a horrible death. Burnt to the crisps. Out there in the damn somewhere outside. Might get damn torn up by a wild beast. Might have damn a few bears come and maul your face. And a few different foxes take pieces of your toes. Hey, anything can happen out there. Anything. That's what's coming upon this earth. Great destruction. Plagues, pestilence, destruction, famine. You might have to eat your eyelashes. Them eyelashes that you got done from Ching Ching, you might have to eat them in Jacob's trouble because you wasn't serving and being obedient to Yahweh Shem Yoshai and your husband. So verse 20, and when a king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And we know that the king actually chose a woman to replace Vashti. It just so happened this woman that he chose was in order, was being obedient, did honor her king, although he was a heathen. Our foremother Esther. That show you that there's hope. You're going to get back right, Most High willing, especially in the kingdom, Most High willing. But nevertheless, where you at right now is not where you're supposed to be at. And it's time for that change. So Lord willing, this is edifying. And Most High willing, you get yourself back right in order. Let's check this out one more last time.
The amount of women that are like, I would never let my husband tell me what to do. I'm not his child. And these same women, they'll go to work. Their boss says, hey, I need you to turn this in by 5 p.m. They say, yes, sir. The HR manager says, hey, I need you to stop saying this to your employees. They say, okay. The trash man says, I need you to put your trash cans beside the road on Wednesday mornings. They say, okay, and they do it. The speed limit sign says, don't go past 65. Guess what? They don't go past 65. The nurse says, hey, you have this condition. I need you to take this medicine. They say, okay. Their single friend will say, girl, you don't need to do this for your husband. You need to tell him this, this, and this. And they say, I can trust you. You're the expert. Literally, everybody else in the world will tell them, jump. And they say, how high? And they do it. But when your husband, who has a covenant with God to protect and provide for you, tells you, hey, I don't think you should do this. Yes, you should do this. No, you should not do this. It's a problem and you're oppressed.
Shalom, Israel.